Hi you guys, today I'm going to Micro Center to build my first computer. Let's go! Hi you guys, Salty Mama's here. We're at Micro Center. Now we're gonna go inside and get all the supplies I need to make my first computer. So we're leaving Micro Center. They have small monitors, but I want a big monitor. So we're gonna go get a 40-inch TV. So off to Walmart, we go to get my 40-inch TV for my computer. So we're at Walmart. Now I'm gonna pick up my TV monitor that I really want.
A few moments later.
Okay, so we're out of Walmart. I got my 40-incher. Let's head home. Hi you guys, we finally made it back home after a long day out traveling. I got all the supplies I need to make my PC. So we are going to start with what I got for it. Let's start with this, my favorite part. It's a 40-inch Viso TV and it's a 1080p. And this is going to give me epic picture when I'm doing all my auditing and fixing on my videos. So that's done and out of the way. Let's move to this thing. I'm not a big computer savvy, so I'm not really going to be familiar with all this stuff. But I do have someone here that's really good at this. So he's going to help me out during this video. I have a Cool Masterbox Q300L. I don't know what that, it's a cover. All right, so now we have a Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1650, a graphics card. We have a B450 MAC. It's a motherboard. Still don't know what that does. I'm gonna get really good at this eventually. I swear I will. A Ryzen processor, 3600. A Samsung 970 EVO 500 gig SD. We also have two different colors, ballistic RAMs, 16 gigs each. Windows, because we're going to need that. We definitely need that. Oh, this is heavy. An EVGA 600 BQ. It's a 600 watt power supply. I also got myself a nice little keyboard. I know what this is. I like these. And a nice little Logic mouse. It's a M705. It has a 3-year battery life to this thing, so That's going to help me out in the next 3 years. So let's get to unboxing all this stuff now.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I have my motherboard here and I have my CPU here. We're going to put this CPU into my motherboard now. I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to look at the back of this, and I am looking for this square here because these ones are triangles. So we want to make sure that this square lines up with a square down here. Now, first things first, I'm going to lift this little lever up, just like such, and I'm going to make sure that it just drops right into there, just like that. And it seems to fit pretty well, so I'm going to bring the lever back down, and now it's locked in place. Okay, so with this processor, what we're going to do with this heat sink and fan is that we are going to remove these brackets so that this will sit in there perfectly. So let's do that. All right, so now I removed the brackets. Now it's time to put the fan on. Now we want to make sure that it's going rectangular because it's not square, it's rectangular. And if you look here, it needs to line up with the rectangular shape that we have going on. Now, when we do this, we have to do this very carefully. So make sure you're lining up properly and right, and go very slow because once it bonds, once it connects to the processor, it's going to stay. So let's make sure we do this right and slow the first way. So we're just going to line up these little brackets here with these little holes here. Now that we have the fan settled into the motherboard, we're going to slowly screw each screw down to the motherboard so it stays steady. So the next thing we're going to do is get the crucial ballistic RAM DDR4 16 gig. Now we're going to put this in the DIMM socket slots. Now we have two different colors. We have a white and we have a red. We're just trying to make it look fancy, even though really you're not going to see this at all. So what we're going to do first is we're going to look at the notches on here. There's only one. It's kind of off center. Now, if you look down here in the DIMM sockets, they're off center also. So first thing first, this has to go in there. But we need to unclip these little clamps here, just like such. Now we're going to take our crucial ballistic RAM and we're going to line it up with the two notches here. Now you're going to push down a little hard, but not super hard, so you don't break anything. And you're going to hear a clip, maybe two. 1, 2. Now, let's place the second one. Here's our second one, beautiful white. We're all looking for the notch that's in the white one, which is here. And we're going to put it in, not the one next to it, but we're going to go one over. So we're going to look for the notch in the one over. We see it, we're going to line them up and we're going to place it in. Now, 2 clicks, done. Now we're not going to use these ones, so we're just going to bring these clamps back up. Alrighty, let's get to the next step here. We are going to get the Samsung 500 gig SSD, which is this. Now, we're going to mount this to the motherboard, to the M.2 socket. Now, let's locate the M.2 socket. It will be located right here onto your motherboard. It even says M.2 right on it. So then you can't really mess that up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to place this with this notch here to line it up with the notch here. And we're going to go in at an angle. Now, if you're wondering what SSD stands for. It's solid state drive, meaning no moving parts. Now we're just going to get that in there where it sits up, and it kind of sits up kind of funny, but that's where this little screw comes into play. Super tiny, good possibility you'll lose it. Now this came with the motherboard. So all we're going to do is we're going to place this little screw, lightly push this down, and it should line right up to this hole here. Now we're going to place this little screw into that hole. Can be tricky because it's really small. Now it's lined up. So all we're going to do now is tighten it down, but not over tighten it because we don't want to break anything. All right, so we got the case here and we have the cover to the motherboard, and we're going to place this inside of the case. Now there is little divots on this plate here, if you can see them, and we're just going to place it on the back of this cover here, and it goes in this little slot here. It's in there. We're good. Okay, so we added some extra risers in here for the motherboard that we have. All motherboards are going to need these. So we just placed in the ones that we needed that weren't already in here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place our motherboard into the case. Now we're going to line up these to these holes here in the back of the case here. Now they should slide with these little holes here onto the risers. So we're just going to gently put it back in there. We don't want to stomp it down. Now that we have the motherboard in the cover, we have it all set up on the risers. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw it all completely down with these little screws here. And we're going to place them in all these little notches here. And you should have about 8 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So let's place those in them. I have a few of them already placed in. And then we're just going to tighten these all down. And we're not going to tighten all the way. We're going to go around and get all of them. Just a little bit. And then we'll go back around again and get them completely tightened down. Now, for this case, it had a special mounting bracket for the power supply. So all we did was take the mounting bracket off of the case, and we're going to mount it to the power supply now. We're going to use the screws that came with the power supply. So we're going to find the holes that needs to go. There's 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're just going to screw these together. All right, so we got the bracket on the power supply. Now we're going to place this back into the case and mount it to the case. So all we're going to do is just place it in here like such. And we got to line it up with here because this is where we took the bracket off. Now make sure you don't have any cords in the way or you're going to squish them all. You want to make sure it's all lined up. So now that we have it all lined up, we're just going to take these screws that we took out and we're going to place them back in. All right, let's start plugging some stuff in. So we're going to plug in, let's start with these simple little fans that we got going on here. So we have this little plug here and it goes right here. Now you got to line up the notches here. Right on the side here. So it's going to go down just like this. And that's in there. So let's do the next fan. Again, little notches. And there's little notches here. So we're going to make sure that that gets aligned also. And that's in. And this is my HD audio cable. And if you can tell, there is a missing little spot here. So there's going to be a spot over here where it goes. It's kind of dark. So let's see if we can move this a little bit here so that you can see in there. Is there any way you can see in there? Right here. Now there's a notch missing here. So we're going to find the notch here and make sure that those are lined up and place it there. And it fits in there like a bug in a rug. Alrighty. Now let's work on this cable. This is the USB 3. Plug this in. So there's a notch here. And there is a notch here. So we're going to line that up and get that plugged in. And that's in. Now, next step is we are going to start playing around with these cute little buggers. Now, they're all different. We have a power LED plus, power LED negative. We have power SW. We have HDD LED. And then we have the reset switch. So now they go over here. And we have to make sure, now there's a manual that comes with all of this stuff. So I'm just going to make sure we are going to put these in the right spot. So let's move some of these cords out of the way so they're not in our way. Now let's see. Let's start with the LED power plus and the LED power negative. All right, so we're going to put this power one in right here. Now they're all in there. Now let's work on these next ones here. And they are the reset switch and the HDD LED plus a negative, and they go behind here. And those are in. Let's work on the next little cute gadget. Alrighty, so we need to pop out these two little plates here so we can place in the graphic card. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our little handy dandy screwdriver here. And we're going to put it here and give it a couple bendies. Ooh, yeah. All right. Now we're going to place in the graphics card. And we have this notch here. And we are going to place it in this slot here with the notches there. So we're going to even the notches up. So we got to turn it this way. And we're going to slide it in like this, in this motion here. And nice little pop in. Now we're going to reattach this little cover that was on the outside here to the case. Because we had to take this off in order to do that. So this pops right back in there. Just like such. Like that. And take your little screw. Put it back in there. Because you have to take this off in order to get them plates off. Now we're just going to put it back together. Golden. All right. Let's hook up some more wonderful little gadgets. We are going to plug in the motherboard power supply. Dun, 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 dun. And it goes right here. I'll show you. Right there. Yes. Push it in. Click. Beautiful. Now this is the 12-volt motherboard power supply cables. And these go right back here to there. And these little notches are going to connect back here. Nice little clip, just a tiny clip, nothing big. Now those are in, and that is all. Now we just need to put the cover back on to the case. And that is over here. And we're just going to place that right on there like that. These are cute little things. Oh yeah, magnetic. Super cool. For design purposes, obviously. To cover up all these little holes here. This, my very first PC build ever. With some help, but we got her done. Now, grand show. Make sure it really works is plugging it all in. All right, so we got this all set up in the room that we want it set up in. Let's see if it works. Power button on. Hoping I got it put together properly. And it looks like it's working. Kudos. We completely put together my very first PC. All right. So if you like my video, please push the like button, subscribe, and I'll be posting every Sunday. Brand new videos. Thanks for watching. Salty Mom out. A what? A graphics card. Card. What? ASRock. Bull sticks. Bullet stick.